the Democratic Alliance is calling on the Minister of Health, Dr. Motsoaledi, to intervene in cancer treatment backlogs in Gauteng. It claims over 2,500 people are waiting for therapy at 2 Johannesburg hospitals. The advocacy group, Cancer Alliance, has taken the Gauteng Health Department to court for its failure to spend nearly 800 million rand allocated for the treatment of these patients. Cancer Alliance Director is Salomé Meyer, who joins us now to talk to us about this particular matter. Salomé, good evening to you, and thank you very much for your time. Why did you resort to going to court over what you say is the failure to spend allocated funds that would ultimately benefit the treatment of cancer patients?
Thank you, and good evening to all the viewers out there. We resorted to court basically because we've been asking the Gauteng Department of Health for more than 3 years to actually attend to this very crisis at Charlotte Macquarie Hospital. Our pleas fell on deaf ears. We finally reverted to the Treasury Department, who allocated the amount of 784 million rand, of which 250 million was ring-fenced specifically for the treatment of 3,000 patients on a backlog list. And let me make it clear that that amount of money was more than enough to in fact treat 3,000 patients in an outsourcing model in the private sector. To date, not one patient that we know of has actually benefited from that ring-fenced amount. And that's when we decided enough is in fact enough. We need to stand up on behalf of the very patients that have been waiting in hope. Hope that they're going to be treated, hope that they're going to at least get some form of communication from the Department of Health, hope that they can live. That's why we have reverted to court.
Yeah. The department, I'm sure you would have read this in the news articles that have since come out. It says it is going to oppose your application, and in part, it bases this on what they say your court case is the result of your preferred bidder being excluded. What is that about?
So I think that we know that in every court case that, you know, the parties will try to get out of it. And we literally say it is nonsense what they are talking about with regards to a preferred bidder. What we have done as the Cancer Alliance is we have actually participated in meetings with the Treasury Department as well as the Health Department and provided them with basic information in terms of who could be potential service providers when they actually do an outsourcing contract. So to come back and say we've got a preferred bidder, no, we don't. All that we want to see is we want to see that you in actual fact do what you are supposed to do. We are not in the business of providing treatment or deciding who should go for treatment at what facility. That is your job. Go and do your job.
Let's talk about the cancer patients themselves. How critical is it for this matter to be resolved expeditiously? But I say that with a bit of trepidation because we know our court system and how slow things can be there. What is their fate at this point?
It's going to be a very difficult one, in fact, to answer because we do know that majority of those cancer patients, there is a window period of 3, maximum 6 months for you to, when you have been assigned for radiation treatment, to in fact get that radiation treatment. Now, what is it that you are saying to patients that have been on that waiting list, some of them since 2016 or 17? So you're talking more than the 6 months. So that in essence is quite a problem, because we in fact, of the very figures that the Gauteng Health Department is now releasing, we actually have got no idea which of those patients, A, are still alive, which of those patients will still require treatment, or which of those patients, in fact, will then actually require no further treatment because their cancers have spread and metastasized. And that is, in essence, part of the problem. So you're asking me, what are the patients saying? We actually, they are living in fear. They're living in fear that, in fact, this may come too late. But what I think the impact further is that any new patient that is being diagnosed, and specifically at Charlotte Maxeke Hospital, must be living in complete fear. Because if you know that this is happening, you're going to fear that I will in fact not receive life-saving treatment, and nobody is in fact communicating with me.
Yeah.
And to this date, we actually have not been attending to the emotional impact that this must be having on 2,000 patients that have been waiting in hope.
The DA's Jack Bloom in Gauteng, he has accused the MEC of Health in the province of negligence, because he says the failure to make use of these funds essentially is tantamount to yet another life esidimeni tragedy waiting to happen. And that's why he's calling for the intervention of the National Health Minister. Do you agree with his sentiment?
Well, in fact, we actually have come out on the day of the protest march that we did in April to actually say that this could be, and I hear what I'm saying, could be as grave as life esidimeni, if not worse. So, but we need basically for this court procedure to be finalized, because we do say that the facts are within the backlog list. And that backlog list is what will reveal in terms of who can and who cannot be treated and who will never receive treatment. That is when we will only know the quantum of the problem, and whether we can then say, yes, this is in fact a second life esidimeni that we have on our hands.
Salomé Meyer, thank you very much for your time.